Okay, thank you. I'm being recorded. I got to click here. Got it. So then I'll get back to it. Okay. Good evening. I'm John Horsch, and I'm delighted to welcome everybody. And I'm the founder and coordinator of SALT, Social Action Linking Together. We have 1,300 advocates now. And as we just noted in our discussion, are getting more active with other partners, which is a powerful strategy that we welcome. And I want to extend a special welcome to Jackie Fuller, who is the executive producer for the Interfaith Connections TV program. And she's had me on as a guest a couple of times, and they've been marvelous programs. So anyway, we're delighted that she's covering us tonight. And of course, we're so happy to have Delegate Watts with us. And it's a privilege for me to present to Senator Favola, and she'll get it on the recording, of course, is the Legislatively You Serve Award. And since it's being done virtually, I'll have to hold it up. Can you see it? I don't see my picture, so I don't know.
You're gonna have to move it down and up, John, so
Okay.
people can see everything. Yeah, there we go. Move it up. Move it up a little bit.
When I tried to reach Favola, I lost my picture, so I don't know what happened. So, well, I hope you can see it. And for my part, it reads in specifically in the inscription reads, "With gratitude and appreciation, we honor you for your outstanding service in the struggle for justice, social justice, with patience and persistence." And she certainly has demonstrated that, and that has served her and the Virginia families well. The award goes to Senator Favola for her many years of answering the call that all of us share, and that we understand so well, and she understands, and that call is, we have a voice, so therefore we must speak for the voiceless. And your work on behalf of Virginia's children alone has done more good for more children and families than most citizens are capable of ever imagining. In fact, it's helping tens of thousands of families. So as advocates who deal with these difficult issues, we know what your consistent legislative service has meant to children. And I just wanted to share a personal example to keep it real brief. But I got a call from this guy, and he says, "John," and he says, I want you to know I went to the mosque this weekend." And I said, "Yes." And he says, "I go every week, but there was a woman there that I'd never seen before at mosque." And he said, "She sought me out and asked if I was an attorney." And I said, "Yes." And he said that she shared with him that because of the increase, she was able to pay for the activity fees of her kids. Her kids never could participate in any extracurricular activities because she didn't have that cost money, because she didn't have any money to pay for them. She said for the first time, she said the kids are just elated, ecstatic to be able to participate. And he said to her, "Well, you know, the increase was smaller than we worked. We worked hard for a bigger increase, and we were disappointed that it was so small." And her comment was, "What's small to you is enormous to us and us 10 of families." So there you have it. But he said as she revealed this to him, she started crying, and then he started crying. And then when he told me this on the phone, I started crying. So anyway, this is the how much good that senators and legislators like Senator Favola and Delegate Watts are doing. And it's a way for us to share how much good that you actually are doing with a personal story. And I'm glad to be able to do that. Now I'd like to call on.
Hey, John,
yeah.
before you get on, let me do a screen share so everyone can see better the award, okay?
Okay, yeah.
Can everyone see that okay?
Oh, wow. Thank you, Bob. That's
and
good.
You can read that much better.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Can everyone read that okay?
No, I think it's too small, Bob, but that at least I had, you know, I had provided it. You know, basically what it says, with gratitude and appreciation, we honor you for your outstanding service in the struggle for social justice with persistence and patience. That's not verbatim, but it's the text. So why don't we, Bob, go ahead with Valerie then, LaRue from who is the Deputy Director of the Center for Family Advocacy at Virginia Poverty Law Center. She focuses on family law and child welfare matters, including foster care, family strengthening services, family reunification, kinship care issues. Those are huge. And I know the kinship care is especially special to Senator Favola. So welcome, Valerie. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Well, thank you, John. I'm very honored to be asked to provide some remarks on behalf of Virginia Poverty Law Center, recognizing Senator Favola. She has long been one of the foremost champions of causes that impact low-income Virginians in Virginia's Senate. Senator Favola, like our guest this evening, Delegate Watts, is distinguished by educating herself on the issues that come before the committees and commissions on which she sits. Those committees and commissions consider and make decisions about these matters. And whether it's on the Commission on Youth, the Senate Rehab and Social Services Committee, which she chairs, or the Behavioral Health Committee, she is one of those legislators who asks the questions needed to understand the issues. Senator Favola has always been passionate about ensuring that families and children have what they need to thrive, whether it's providing financial assistance to kinship caregivers who take in relative children while on a fixed and limited income, ensuring youth in foster care have the support as they cross the threshold from childhood to independence, or protecting victims of violence. She listens to advocates about what works and what doesn't, and she always strives to be sure that her bills have the consensus of those who work in the field. Her grounding and understanding our systems of public assistance really sets her apart from many other members of the General Assembly. I told John this. I remember one more moment in the Senate Rehab and Social Services Committee a few years ago. She brought a bill to ensure that children of parents who had convictions of drug possession in the past were not prevented from receiving the TANF support they need. And this moment that I'm thinking of came when she was presenting the bill in the Senate. It did not pass that year, though it finally did in 2020. And I'll explain that some legislators really like to showboat during these committee hearings. And Delegate Watts, I know you've sat there, as many legislators have done this. They like to ask questions of the legislators who are presenting their bills, and they present some sort of far-fetched and unlikely scenario, and they ask, well, how would the legislation impact this scenario? And one of the senators on the RSS committee asked her one of these questions, and it just brought her up short because the question itself displayed such ignorance of what TANF is. And of course, it's right there in the name, Temporary Assistance to Needy Families. And when this question was asked, it took Senator Favola a second to recover from her shock. I think her jaw was kind of on the floor regarding the ignorance before she could explain the very basic fact that the scenario that this particular senator brought forward was impossible because TANF was only available to families with children. And that kind of ignorance reveals a profound lack of care and concern about Virginia's families that unfortunately many legislators seem to have. But Senator Favola always seeks out the experts so that she can be sure to know what problem her bill would solve and how it would solve it. And Delegate Watts is another exemplar of someone who does that. I wish more legislators were like that. Senator Favola is being recognized this evening for her passion for improving those systems that impact families and for working collaboratively to pass legislation to make these improvements. This award is really well earned. Thank you, Senator Favola.
Just to wind things up then, we look forward to delivering the trophy to her in person, and we will be sure she gets a recording. And I just want to extend appreciation and thanks to all of you for checking in this evening. I know it's hard to do it on a Friday night, and anyway,
Delegate Watts has something to say.
John, if I may, since you were both kind enough to mention my name because I was here, let us put the context of my being here, because I really, really admire Senator Favola for the reasons that both of you have noted, as a legislator who really does her homework, but it is driven by genuine compassion and understanding of the need that has to be addressed. And so when I saw the notice come through, I thought, oh yes, I really want to just add my presence to say, what a wonderful job you've done, Barb. And I know that I'm speaking on behalf of many, many other legislators who value having you in the role of with the Youth Commission and all of the bodies on which she sits. She brings true value, and again, compassionate, articulate logic and studied facts to bring it across. Thank you, Barb.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Does anybody else want to share a thought? Well, thank you for your contributions, Delegate. And
John, word to Barbara Favola, Senate District 40. I am delighted with the changes that are wrought by redistricting, because now I am your constituent, Barbara Favola, so plan to hear from me. And I'm very appreciative of all of the work that you have done over the years, just as others have already touted for you.
Thank you, Anne, for that. That's a beautiful statement. And again, it's what we sought to do was highlight how much good she is doing, and to give some recognition and express our appreciation, our gratitude, in fact. And you know, I just really want to emphasize what we find so incredible about her is her persistence and patience, how she doesn't just, you know, introduce something and kind of let it slide. She sticks with it, and she works the committee room, the members, to find out if they have any objections, or whether it needs to be amended in any way to get it through, and what they have to do to be successful. So she's the kind of legislator that's a workhorse. We appreciate her longtime service, and the many, many, many successes she's had. I think, you know, I think this year we get a 10th increase. This is the 9th or the 10th increase, and the goal, you know, is to get Hannah up from 20% of the poverty level up to 50%. And I would say with this year's increase, we're going to be pretty close to 50%. So, and not that that's anything to brag about, but at least what a horrendous change, what a horrendous improvement, as cited by the example of the woman who could actually for the first time be able to, you know, to be able to afford the activity fees. And imagine that in the year 2023, that, you know, people are so poor they can't afford activity fees for their kids in school. So anyway, she's helping to make this a better place, a better Virginia, and to make things better for families. So thank you, everybody, for participating this evening, giving up of your time. And you've been wonderful to check in, and we appreciate it so much. Take care.
And thank you too, John. Thank you.
Thank you as well, Julie.
Thank you.